Have you heard of the double empathy problem? We've been taught for so long that autistic people lack empathy, that we can't connect, that we're cold, or that we're missing something human. But here's the truth: their empathy was never missing, it was misunderstood. We now understand that this is called the double empathy problem. The double empathy problem flips the old narrative on its head. It says the challenge isn't that autistic people can't understand non-autistic people, but that it's both sides that struggle to understand each other equally. Think of it like this: two people speaking two completely different languages, neither one is wrong, neither one is deficient, but without translation, both parties are going to walk away feeling unseen, unheard, and misjudged, and possibly a little frustrated. We see this play out in everyday life. When an autistic person skips the small talk and gets straight to the point, it can land as a little blunt to a neurotypical person. But from our side, small talk feels like we're circling instead of actually truly connecting with one another. When somebody says, "It's getting late," and they might be hinting for us to leave. And if we've not quite learnt that yet, we might take this literally and think they're telling us the time. Or if we have learnt it, we wonder why you're not getting to the point and telling us the truth. Eye contact is another one. For some, it actually equals connection, but for us, it might feel really intimate, really intense, in fact. And we might be able to listen better when we avert our gaze or when we are looking at a different part of the face. Or let's take plans. A last minute change might feel exciting and spontaneous for you, but for us, it might feel like our nervous system has just lost the ground that it was literally standing on. When an autistic person shares their truth, their tone, their body language, their way of processing, it might not match the social scripts of neurotypical people and what they might expect. So it often might get written off as blunt, inappropriate, or possibly unemotional. The truth is, autistic people often care deeply, sometimes so deeply it physically hurts us. But if the empathy isn't expressed with the social dialect that you expect, it gets misread. At the same time, navigating hidden meanings, subtle hints, they don't always land for us. And this can be confusing. On the flip side, when a non-autistic person communicates in their way, with their layered small talk, their hidden meanings, their unwritten rules, autistic people will feel shut out, overwhelmed, and confused. And the neurotypical person might be confused as to why you can't navigate that. I say all of that to say that none of this means that anybody lacks empathy. It means that it's a different way of showing, processing, and expecting it. And the mismatch? That's the double empathy problem. It's not a lack of empathy. It's a difference in perspective, expression, and processing. It's a gap that requires curiosity and not to be shut down. It requires patience and a willingness to learn from both sides of the bridge. And here's the most important part. Once that bridge has been built, autistic people show incredible amounts of empathy because we've lived our whole lives noticing the cracks, the things that are unsaid, the subtle injustices that are overlooked by other people because they're not experienced by them. Maybe the problem isn't that autistic people can't do what you think they should do in the way that they should do it. And maybe the problem is the assumption that there is one way of being and one way of feeling and one way of expressing, and one way should be the default. If we stop pathologizing difference and start translating across difference, the double empathy problem doesn't actually have to remain a problem at all. It can be the chance for us to finally learn how to meet one another in the middle, authentically, human to human. The problem isn't empathy. The problem is translation. And you're teaching the world a new language, and we are just waiting for them to catch up. So if you're autistic and you have been made out to lack empathy, empathy was never the problem. The problem was their translation of you. And you're teaching the world a new language and you're just waiting for them to catch up and learn it. Because there is more than one way to do something. And their way isn't wrong and neither is yours. And that is a summary of the double empathy problem.